Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about episode 2 of the Challenge 40, titled The Era's Invitational, Part 2. Last time on the challenge, the players competed in the first round of the Era Invitational, which saw 8 players winning safety and 8 players being sent straight to elimination. Tonight, we'll see the result of their deliberations and the 8 eliminations to follow. Hang tight because it's gonna be a bloodbath. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist where you can see my previous recaps. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate the support. So let's dive into it. Our 40 challengers meet TJ in the arena, walking past an arrangement of famous eliminations that look like TJ's saw traps. We don't get to see the end of the deliberations, but we quickly find the players sent in by the winners because they're the only people in uniforms, who are Anissa and Derek K for Era 1, Brandon and Kara for Era 2, Amanda and Tony for Era 3, along with some drama.
We're gonna have to extract some of the bad energy from the team.
You better hope I don't come back, bitch.
We flash back to Amanda giving Corey an earful for sending her into elimination, which tickles Tina, and we learn that Era 4 sent in Polly and Olivia to face their rivals Theo and Nerys. TJ tells them they'll be playing in eliminations that define their eras, but what didn't make sense to me is they drew them randomly. They should have just played the elimination that corresponded to their era. We get started with Era 3, who drew balls in, where one player is playing offense and trying to get their ball in their barrel, while the other player defends. First player to 2 points wins. First up are Amanda and Naya, and my money's on Naya here. Naya squares up and is blocking, but she trips up and lets Amanda outsmart her. Amanda scampers right by her and gets the first point. When Naya plays offense, she bodies Amanda. She misses the goal, but then recovers it and drags Amanda back to the goal, scoring her first point. Naya then successfully blocks Amanda, and on her second offense, she easily swats Amanda out of the way like a bug and wins the elimination. So we lose Amanda here, who I didn't have too much faith in to survive this purge, but I always think she's really fun, and I was interested to see her rivalry with Tori play out further. I feel like we're really missing out on having her, but I also feel like she's better suited as comic relief on seasons with rookies, where she has a better chance of being in a good place in the game socially. It was great to see Naya win this, and then Kyland and Josh both gush about how sexy Naya was winning this, and they're so into her. She's got that skibbity riz. Leroy and Tony are next to square up. I predicted that Tony could beat Leroy because Leroy's really not good under pressure. On Leroy's first offense, Tony takes him out and sends the ball out of the ring. Tony puts the moves on Leroy, twinkle-toesing him around and scoring the first point in the match. On Leroy's second offense, Tony flings Leroy out of the ring, and Johnny says that Tony is destroying Leroy. Tony then blows through Leroy, easily getting the second point, winning the elimination and sending Leroy home. So we lose Leroy here, who's really comically bad at the challenge when Cam's not there, to the extent that I don't know if it's worth it to bring him back without her at this point. Rooting for him is such a royal waste of time. I want to turn my stand card in for real, but I would like to see the both of them back, and I would like to see Cam outlast him and get her crown. Era 1 will be playing pole wrestle. First person to get the pole from their opponent wins. In a best of 3 match, we start with Derek and Mark, and I instantly feel for Mark because being in a pole wrestle with Derek is my personal worst nightmare, but Mark is also a pro wrestler. He could take a hit. They're bucking and flipping. Derek gets the upper hand and yanks the pole from a downed Mark, getting the first point. In round 2, Jody says Derek is chuffing like a lion. The guys roll around and end up snuggled up in the sands until Derek pulls the pole, eliminating Mark. So we lose Mark here. It was nice to see him here, but I think having him on these few episodes was enough for me. It was nice that he got to shout out and dedicate his appearance to his mother, and I'm happy that he wasn't sent home from this elimination in a stretcher. Anissa and Katie are up next, and we see that after the nominations, Anissa confronted Rachel for letting CT pick and send her in. Tori consoles Anissa, who feels betrayed. But Anissa has to face Katie, and I think Katie's pretty out of her depth physically here.
I'm thick, so I'm gonna use that to my advantage.
They get started. Anissa quickly body slams Katie, but Katie survives the impact. Anissa ends up winning the first round, and Anissa gives Katie the business with another ass slam in the second round that really looks like she's being squished like a bug, leading to Anissa winning this elimination handily. And we lose Katie here, who was pretty obviously the first boot from the cast announcement. She was way out of her league here in a way that felt irresponsible from the casting team. I'm happy that she got her paycheck without having to do a heights challenge and break her face again, and she put up a good fight here against Anissa that she should be proud of. Next up is Era 4 with a flashback reaction to Polly and Kara being sent in, with Kara and Polly causing a huge stir in the castle, with Kara especially being annoyed with Bananas for making what she calls a boring move. We also get more flashbacks to Laurel and Kara's relationship through the years, and at this point I'm so sick of this storyline every episode for the last 6 months. Imagine how tired we are. Era 4 will be playing Hall Brawl, which would be so fun to see these matchups. The first person through the hall past their competitor wins in a best of 3 match. First up is Polly and Theo, with Theo having the advantage being a former pro athlete. Maybe they'll kiss again in the middle. After some some nasty eye contact, they get started, and Theo really hits Paulie so hard they edit Paulie being sent to another galaxy. Theo gets the first point. In the second round, Theo bodies Paulie again, eliminating him from the game. And we lose Paulie here. I've never been a big Paulie fan, but I feel like he brings a fun dramatic energy, especially with the team season, and with Kara there, it would have spiced the season up a bit. He's also gone through a lot of changes, and now he's been the first boot twice in a row, so we never really got to see what he's all about these days. He's super down on himself here, but he was really outmatched. I don't think anybody's looking down on him for losing this against Theo. Next is Nerys versus Olivia. I'm worried for Nerys and Olivia's Nunos. They flash back to the deliberation where Michelle wants to save Olivia, but Horacio stands his ground and gets Olivia nominated. I'm proud of Horacio for standing his ground here and playing the game for once. So Nerys tells Horacio that she wants to marry him and have his babies, and they start the game. The girls pretty much run past each other in the first round. They obviously don't want to get hurt, with Olivia getting the first point for being faster. In the second round, they get a bit more contact where Olivia pretty much carries Nerys. Then Olivia stumbles, giving Nerys some opportunity to run away, but Olivia saves it and gets the second point, eliminating Nerys. So we lose Nerys here, which is a shame. She had such a great story coming out of season 39 and is such a standout, but she's definitely outmatched on this epic legend season. I think she got lucky getting out this early, but we got a quick greatest hits of her maybe patching things up with Olivia, being there with Horacio. I love seeing people that I like doing well in life. She's winning even when she's losing. Wrapping things up with Era 2, who are playing Take Shelter. They'll have 20 minutes to barricade a bunker. Then their opponent will try to break into their bunker. First player to break into their opponent's bunker wins the elimination. Ryan, Brandon, Kara, and Kellyanne are all playing at the same time. I feel like this elimination is one that any of them could win. They get started, and if any of them watch the challenge, they know they need to focus on the chains. So they do. They're chaining it up, with Kellyanne getting a lot of help from the sidelines from her team. Ryan has a good strategy of focusing on one concentrated area. Kara and Paulie tell some sick tales of tying each other up. This was gross locker room talk to me. Paulie, CT, and Era 1 are backseat tying Kara's knots. Then they all switch up, and Ryan quickly attacks Brandon's bunker, looking really cool in the process, tearing all that up. Kara gets Kellyanne's door open a crack first, but Kellyanne isn't far behind, but ultimately Kara wins for the women, eliminating Kellyanne, who came into this a bit of a wildcard pick for Era 2. The producers obviously love her and see her as a legend, but I think she also was way outmatched on this season. I still think there's some hope for her to win All-Stars if she gets better at puzzles, because she's truly bad at puzzles, which is what got her into this elimination mess in the first place. Back to the elimination, Ryan tells us he's motivated because his dad also fought the war in Vietnam. Then he uses that motivation to fling the gate open and win the elimination, really impressing me for sure. And we lose Brandon here, which I'm pretty okay with. He's never really done well on these shows, and I feel like after All-Stars 4, there was some intrigue with his rivalry with Kara, but I don't think more Brandon was anything I needed. Overall, he's a nice guy, but just not really good TV or a really good competitor. The episode ends with TJ sending all the active players back to the house, and TJ warns them cryptically that how they treat people really matters. Then he's left alone with the eliminated players. TJ tells them they're all getting a karma vote where they can rate the other players from 1 to 5, and their ratings will somehow impact the game. So they give their scores and bounce, and we don't get to find out what this means until the future. So that wraps up the episode. I really liked that the episode was pretty much all eliminations from start to finish, something we've never had before. It was really cool, and it made me feel a lot better about last week having no elimination. I feel satisfied and am happy that the cast is down to a reasonable number now, and I wasn't heartbroken by any of these eliminations. But that's all I have to say about this episode. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode. Also, in the comments, wish a congratulations to my sister, who helps me out a lot with this channel, as she and her fiance are getting married this weekend. So congratulations, Angela and Austin. I'll be back next Wednesday to talk about more challenge. Until then, have a nice weekend. Bye!